Hello everyone. So today we are going to see about date and time functions. So let me create a flow. Go to automation. I will create an instant flow. Let me close the tabs here. I'm going to manually trigger. Here I will say my flow name as date and time, and I will click on create. Alright. So now when I will click here on news tab and you go to your variable, and here when you click on variable, you see we don't, and here you see we don't have any data type. So what I'm going to do, I will simply delete this and I will use a compose action here. Now let's say if you want to get current date and time, so you have two ways. Either you can use expression or you also have an action. So first of all, let me show you from expression. So you can simply say utcNow. Okay, and simply click OK. And here let me add a new step and let me go to, and here simply search for date. And when you go to date and time, so you see you have these actions available. So if you want to get current time, you can simply click here and let me add new step here, and I will say compose, and I will say here get current time from action. And now I will simply go to this input and I want to get output of this, and I will save. And let me test this. Let me click on manual. And let me run my flow. Let me click on done. Alright, so here we have used the utcNow function and we are getting the state, right? And here when I use this, so this is also giving us the exact same time. It simply means if you use the current time function, which is nothing if you will use utcNow function. And let me click on edit. And now you see currently, let me add a new step here and I will say date and time. And let's say if you want to, so now we'll use this function convertTimeZone. Alright, so here we need to provide a base time. So what is our base time? Nothing but just the output of this, right? So I think I even don't require this one because I can directly pass this one to here. So my let me come down. Yeah, so this current time will be passed here, and let's say not, let's say like this is actually a true statement. So this would be in our universal, this coordinated universal time. Okay, and let's say we want to convert this to some other format. Let's say, let me pick any random here. Let me come down and let me convert this to in this format. And you see here, now we can also change the format. So for example, if you see that data, it is not really human readable. So what I can do, I can select for a certain pattern. Let me say this one. Okay, and let me save this. And let me test this one. I will test this also manually. and I will run my flow. So now if you see this converted time zone, so you can easily see the exact date is November 4, Tuesday, and this is the exact time. And now let us say if you want to do this transformation using expression, because there will be many instances where you will need to write expression only. You can't use these actions, because if you use actions you need to go to next line. So in that scenario you can do it through expression as well. So let me show you. So let me use this format. So there's a function called, so let me come down, and here let me remove this, and when you will click here on see more, so you'll get a lot of function related to date and time. You see here. So I'm going to use, so let me use this format date and time. Okay, and if you see here, the first thing we need to, it is asking for timestamp. So how can I get timestamp? I can get timestamp easily from here, right? And even I could also directly say utcNow, but for now I will pass it through here. So I will go to dynamic content. Oh, I think it is asking here only, so I will simply pass utcNow here. Okay, and now let us assume I want a format like air first, and then y. Oh, excuse me here. So I will again need to write format date and time. Then I need to pass a timestamp, and then I can simply let me do it something like this. Y. Let me say month, and let me say here date. Let me update it, and we'll test this right away. Save and test. Alright, let me run my flow. Done. Alright, here we go. So if you see, we are getting exactly this format. If we even need, the date and time, so we can add extra things as well. And now let us see if we want to add. So let's say if you want to add few more days here, so how we can do that. So for that, I will delete this. I will again add a new step here, and I will again go to my date. And you see, we have the option to get the future time, right? So I can get the current time from this current time, and let's say I want to get a future time after a week, and let me test it. And I will run my flow, and okay, all right. All right, I think, oh, here I need to provide intervals. For example, this is the current time. Okay, so like here, this is nothing a utcNow function. Now let's say if I need time after let's say or let me add 2 days. Okay, and let me do one thing here inside this compose. Also let me do the same. So what I will do, I will use my addDays function, and here you see I need to pass a timestamp first. So I could do it from utcNow, and then it is asking me days. Right here you see days. So let's say I need it from after 2 days. So here I could do that. And if you want a format, so you can also give a format, but for now I can ignore that. But if you will see, we'll get the same output from this compose and from this getFutureTime. So let me save this and save and test. Okay, let me done. Okay, so if you see compose, it is giving exactly this output, and if you will see this one, so we are getting the same output here, that is 11:06, this 320, 48, 46, exactly same hours and same second time, everything. And now let me click edit. So now let's do one small exercise here. Let us assume we'll trigger manually our flow, and let me say this as so now we'll calculate a DOB. So what we'll say, we'll ask a user to enter their age. Okay, so I will declare this variable as age. I will say here, please enter your age, and here what I will do, I will write an expression. So let's say if the user will enter his current. Okay, so now to calculate this one, say the user will enter his current age. Let's say the user is only 20 years old, and we are currently in 2025. So what we'll do, we'll minus 2025 minus 20. So which should be nothing, 2005. So the date of birth for user would be 2005. So we need to write this logic like current year minus the age that user will enter. Okay, so now to do that, I can simply, first of all, I need to do a subtraction, right? So I will use this subtraction function. Then I need to subtract my current time. Okay, so now to get my current time, I will need to use utcNow function. But as I am only interested to calculate the year, so I only want the current year, that is 2025, nothing else. Now to do that, what I will do, I will use this function format. Let me say here, format date and time. Okay, I will open this and let me close this first. I'll come here and I will close this. And now when you will go to this your format date and time function. Okay, so let me copy this here. So we are here. So first of all, let me tell you the format date and time first. So format date and time. So what it takes as a parameter timestamp, that is current time. Okay. Then here we can put our formatting. So what I can say here, I can say UTC now, comma, I only need year, right? So to get year, I can simply do. So this will get me current year, that is 2025. So let's test this one first, and let me delete this, and let me delete this as well. So I will test. Okay, so this says, okay, I will put it, but this says it's not going to do anything currently. So let me put anything here. So done. And if you will see, we should get 2025. Okay, perfect. So now we'll simply subtract 2025 from this age that the user will enter. Okay, so let me click here. Let me copy this expression and I will put this expression here. Here we need to do simply two things. I need to minus a number from here, and I simply need to put subtract, comma, and a comma here. Let's say if the user enters his age as 20, so I'm going to do 20. And let me copy this. Here, let's go. Yeah, here I will use this my subtraction function, and I will put a braces here, and I will close my bracket here. Now point to remember, here I need to give my second variable. So my second variable will come from dynamic content, that is A's. That's it. So let me update this. Okay, and now let me test this. So I'll click on manual, save and test. And let me enter the age as 20. Okay, it failed. That is nice. All right. So here, if you see, let me show you. So here, if you see, this is going to return you a string, right? Format, date, and time. So then I need to typecast this one to integer. So I can simply put an int here and an int here, and we should be good. So let me do that change. I will edit here. Let me go here, and I need to typecast it. I will say int here, and here if you see one brace is extra added, so I will remove it and I will keep it here. Alright, oh, not here. I will need to put it here, exactly at the end, when this 2025 will be calculated. And let me update it, and let's test this now. I will say save and test. Oh, age, let me enter 20, and let me say done. So our flow runs successfully, and we are exactly getting the same output that we expected, that is 2025 minus 20. And let me go back here. So when you use this action function, so all this can also be done using expression. So let me again go to that date here, and here if you want to add time, if you want to convert a time zone, this one is nothing that just a UTC. Now if you want to get some future date, like you mean to say, like if you want to add something like time, hours, week, seconds, you can use this. Similarly, if you want to get the previous time, you can use this, and here you can also do subtraction. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video.